Hi, this is Stefano and this is Ploc 1.1. 1.1 because it is very much related to Ploc episode 1. In that episode, we built a little interactive system that connects body movement to the speed of a video that we have loaded. And today we see how to implement that system into a more creative idea, so a little bit of a more artistic use case. The final result will be a situation kind of like this. And we will, of course, start from where we left in the previous episode. We were here. We have our chicken video. It responds to my body movement. Great. We will, of course, change the video. This is the first thing we're going to do. But before we do that, a little thing that you might need to consider doing every time we do these kind of exercises. In the introduction, I explained that there is an object called the comment box, which you can find up here, or you can just press C on your keyboard with the patch unlocked, of course. This is a comment box. Let's say I want to comment something. I would invite you to comment as much as you can, because it might be that a couple of days after you build your patch, maybe you don't remember some passages perfectly, and it's always very, very, very good to have some comments everywhere around, so to be sure the next time you open your project, you know what's happening, okay? And what you need to do to make it run properly. So we have our comment box. We created it with C. Let's say I want to comment about this snippet here, and this will be analyzes the movement in the video feed. We are now fitting it with the camera, so we get the movement of the camera. Another thing you can do with the comments, beside commenting, is giving it a nice look. Click on your comment, like have it selected. Go to the right of your patcher. Here, there is an inspector, the eye icon. Click on it. You have some tabs on the top. Go to the All tab. You will see now all the attributes of the module you have selected in your patch. Okay? There is one attribute, which is a bubble. You can turn it on. Boom! Now our comment is a bubble. And just below here, you can also decide if the arrow of the bubble is on top, on the left, on the bottom, or on the right. I will be fine with left, so I'll just leave it like that. But you see here in this inspector, you have some choices. Maybe you want to change the color of something. Maybe you want to change certain parameters here. I don't know. There are options about the module you have selected in the inspector tab. I'll be fine with this. Voila. Something else? Well, something very, very important is always the scaling part. So we'll copy paste this comment box and write a couple of things. InScale normalizes an incoming value range to a 0 to 1 range. Okay? So we have these crazy numbers here. We don't know where they go. And here we normalize them so that becomes something like 0 to 1. Easy to read for us, easy to interpret for the computer. Then, second scaling, I'm gonna copy paste the comment box, and this is the OutScale, which scales normalized value. Somebody's sawing something outside of the window. That's amazing. There's a guy with an air blower blowing the little pebbles on the sidewalk because it was snowing. Anyways, I hope you don't hear it so badly. Let's start again. Value range, which is 0 to 1, to a range that is useful for what we want to control. This is very verbose. The OutScale scales a normalized value range to a range that fits what we want to control. The video loop is, let's also comment that the video loop is, well, it's a video looper. Loads and loops a video, and it has this width speed control, which is the cool thing we're using here. Start to get busy in this patch, especially because I'm zoomed in like hell. Okay, let's comment this. We are commenting everything. Output video window. You know what? Video output window sounds a little better. Voila. Oh, have I talked about this? This is your frame rate. Maybe I talked about it. Well, this is like frames per second. This is how fast your computer is processing the video, or like the whole visuals. Okay, the rest of these, like these snippets here, we don't talk about it because we are not really doing that much with those. It's important they are there, fine. Okay, so we saw a little bit the structure of the patch again. It's always good to repeat. And what we do is we substitute this chicken video with something that makes more sense. I have here prepared something. Now, before we do that, a little comment about how Max works. What is always a good idea is to create a folder. I named it 1.1 because it's episode 1.1. Funny name, pass the deux. But make a folder in which you first save your patch. So I'm gonna go File, Save As. I'm just saving it with a new name, so to have different versions, okay? This is gonna be Ploc 1.1. I'm gonna save it. So now we have this folder with my patch. If you wanna load a video in your patch, or generally, if you wanna have some media loaded in your patch, it's always a good idea to put them together with your patch. Okay, now my video is in the folder, it's in the right place. Let's go to the patch, lock it if it's unlocked. I will double click on the video loop. This is a video loop snippet. And I will drag and drop my video, which is called Noise Shake, here. And once you start moving, it should run. Okay? Sometimes the orange loop point highlight here doesn't update immediately, but after it starts playing, it should be fine. Okay, so the new video is there. It's already working. Let's talk about this video. Okay? Let's talk about it. Why is this video like this? Well, there are different reasons. I'm gonna show you the original file. A few points about this video. I'm gonna be a bit superficial and quick because everything that I'm talking about now will be described more in detail in a video annex that I will link in the description. In that video, you will see what are the best things to do while recording videos for interaction. What are the codecs that you might want to use when exporting the video. For now, just quickly, 4 things about this video. First, the movement in the video, you see there is this body moving. The movement is constant. The pace is the same pace of movement throughout the whole video. This is important because when we interact with it, we are gonna change the speed of the video. So it's important that in the video itself, there is no pace changes. Point number 2, the video has a black background. This is very useful and something that you might want to consider while shooting, because when you project it, if you project a black background, you won't see it. So you don't see the frame of the projection on the wall, for example. You only see the white figure in this case. Then, point number 3, looping. There are different ways to be sure that the looping works. Remember that once you put this in max, it will loop many times. So it's nice that when the video loops, there is not much jump. So first and last frame should be similar or the same frame. A last little point is that because we have this human figure, the feet are kind of sitting on the edge of the video, so that when projecting it on the wall, for example, I can make this human figure really stand on the real floor of the room. So that's it about this video. Let's load it. Oh, I have loaded it already. Well, I'll do it again, just for the sake of doing it. So, everything works, right? Yeah, I move, the person dances or moves. And if I move slow, the person moves slow. And if I move fast, the person moves fast. Voila, interaction. So this video has sound, which helps a lot with the feeling of the interaction. When you interact with something and you also hear it changing, it's, you know, another layer of perception that you get, and it helps understand the way you interact with this medium. So this is often very useful. And dependently from the situation, you might need to rescale the values that come from the interaction, because maybe your camera setup is different, maybe the sun is gone, or just because, you know, this is a new video and maybe you want it to react in a different way. I will just give you like a quick repetition of how these scaling things work, because it's always very, very, very important. Here we are. So let's say that I will stand here. Let's check this. Is this purple slider reacting nicely to my movement? Actually, yes. But let's say that I want to be able to move faster. Maybe I want to move faster. I want this interaction to feel a little bit more demanding, okay? So I will redo the auto thing again. Click it. Not move. Move a lot. Okay. Let's see now. So now I really need to move a lot to make the person also move a lot. But also I have more expression because I can move a little bit and have the person also move a little bit or a little bit more, so I can really nicely control the speed. Okay, cool. So you see what I have done is redo the tuning or calibration in the InScale. You can also change the OutScale, so double click on the OutScale. Now it was set from the previous patch that when I don't move, auto minimum is 0, so the video will stop. The speed 0 is stop. And when I move a lot, the maximum that it can reach is a speed of 5. You can leave it like this, you can make it faster maybe. 8, so I'm typing 8 here. Or you can make it a bit more calm. Maybe I go down to 4. Or we can click on invert, and now when I don't move, the dancer is going crazy, and when I start moving, I slow down the figure, unless when I move a lot, then the dancer stops, and then when I slow down and stop, the dancer goes. So it can be a kind of a dialogue where the two dancers, let's call ourselves dancers here, are kind of waiting for each other and giving each other like the turn. Or they can both move if they both move slow enough. Yeah. Or you can invert it again and you go together. Stop and move together. A little detail about the video file and its sound. So we talked about in the last episode about this little snippet here, the audio output. Here is where you feed sound that you want to, hear from your speakers or whatever device is selected in the audio preferences in Macs. So here, options, audio status, output device. This is the device that is for Macs to output the sound. And this is where you would hear whatever you feed into this audio out. Now, this is a weird thing here. If the sound is inside the video engine outputs the sound to Once again, we want to see the final setup result. You will notice also in the video where the projection is, how it is set, what is the size of the projection. And how is the relation with the person that interacts with the projection. So these thoughts about how to set up the space are also very important, okay? And because these things are very important, we are going to spend a couple of minutes talking about the space that you saw in that little demo video and how the situation is lit with lights, where the projection is placed, where the projector is placed, and where the camera is placed, and what is the camera point of view, what is the camera looking at. Okay, so I'm gonna draw on this thing. We have here door with wall, then the room goes a little bit like this, and I think you see until here probably. We have here in the corner a little tower of wood. We have a door starting here. It's a double door. It kind of ends here. And I am moving around here. This is me. This we don't see. The projection is around here. This is where you see the white figure. And the projector is on the ground here. It is on the ground, it is tilted. We will talk about tilting projectors, lenses of projector in a different annex video. For now, just know that the projector is just simply laying on the ground and projecting the figure that you see on the door/wall behind. And beside the projector, I don't have any fancy camera. I have my laptop. So I'm using the webcam of my laptop. The webcam of my laptop is looking something like this. This is because it is necessary that the camera that looks at the person that interacts with the video should not look also at the video. Otherwise you get a kind of a feedback, okay? Because I move, the video moves, and if the camera would see the video moving, it would make the video move even more, and that's a whole mess. So it is very important to point the camera at somewhere where there is the person moving and where you don't see the video that it's interacting, okay? For now, we will see in the future what are infrared cameras, and this is a total different story, but for now, let's keep it simple and basic. Okay, then we had some lights. Because when you have a projection in the space, you have to take care of lighting up what you need to light up, but do not hit the projection with your lights. Otherwise, your projection loses power, loses visibility, okay? So I had a couple of lights coming from the side. They would hit me laterally, okay? One was, where was it? There was one light here going in this direction. There was one light here going in this direction. Why am I making this like this? I can do it nicer. So this is light emission. And there was, okay, another one here on the ground that would point at my lower body. One important thing, as I said before, is not to hit the screen, okay? How do you do that? I was using pretty not really special lights. I was using kind of like a working light, a portable one that you can just charge with the USB cable, and some other kind of spots like LED spots that you can get from, music shop or light shop or online shops, and you can, spend as little as 30 euros. These are also potentially controllable with DMX, which is something we might talk in the future. But the point is, all these lights are pretty common lights, and they don't have barn doors, which are these little wings that you might find on some theater lights that you can use to direction and limit the range of your light beam, so to avoid that the light spills all over the place. Okay, so because these common lights do not have these barn doors, we need to create shadow in another way so that the light does not hit the screen. Easy stuff. Just take an object and place it in front of the light. For example, a box. I often use the box. Take a box, maybe bigger than this. Your light is here, looking at you. Put it somewhere that you don't want the light to go. For example, what I did in here was putting a couple of boxes. One was here, so that the light would not go over to the screen. And then I also put a box here for the same reason, and here for this other light for the same reason. So to create the shadow, okay, here and also here. So the light would still go here, but not here. So we don't hit the projection, but we do hit the thing that we want to light up, which is the performer. Talking about the projection, as you saw, I just projected on the door, then the projection and the white figure went also a little bit over to the walls. My first idea was to just limit it at the door, to give it a little bit of a frame that is contextualized in the space. But then I saw that I needed to make this figure bigger because I really wanted the white figure to be the same height of the performer, of the real body. So to create a little bit of a, virtual / real physical relation of the two entities, okay? I'm projecting on this door, or you can project on a wall. You don't need screens, okay? As soon as you have a surface which is kind of flat and that is bright, like white is good, you're fine. You're fine. You don't need to pull down screens or anything. Just project on a wall if you have a wall. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be enough. That's gonna work. So, as you can see, I have shot this video in my living room. Why did I do that? I was thinking about recording it in a studio, but then I thought, why not to start simple? Why not to start manageable? You might not have a studio around you with screens, with walls, with fancy dance floor, with speakers and PA or whatever. So I thought I will recording at home with the minimum equipment possible. So to give you an example of something that is like doable right here, right now, or right there where you are, okay? Then let's talk about sound. In this precise case, I haven't done anything fancy. I have used the speakers of my computer. Very easy. Of course, that depends a lot from what kind of speakers your computer have or your laptop have. You can, of course, just plug a couple of speakers, portable speakers, small speakers, if you have electricity, or there are bigger speakers that you can get online, you can get in shops that are battery powered, so you can bring them even outside if you want. And the only important thing is that you might not want to use Bluetooth speakers. The reason is, if you connect with Bluetooth, there is always a little bit of latency from the computer to the speaker, so it is way, way better, even if you have a battery-powered speaker, to get one that you can cable to your computer with a aux jack or any kind of audio connection that it's available, so that you don't have any latency, so that when the video reacts, things happen quickly in real time without latency and disconnection. Cool. That's it for now. See you next time. Ciao.